almost 27 years. I was working at my college recruitment office for the summertime job, and an advertisement came through the office that said, new, exciting, different position, working for CEO, all these things. And of course, boom, resume, and didn't know anything about what a DLA was, or a DLA Disposition Services, or it was DRMS at the time, nothing. And you couldn't do research at that time. And so resume, and then they called, and they brought me up here for an interview, and I interviewed with Captain Hempson, who was the commander at the time. And really didn't know what was going on, but they were looking to marketing, and advertising and that type of thing, and interview, and got called and offered the job, and I was, and they said, well, it's a just 7, target 11, which I don't know what that was. That meant nothing to me. And they said, well, it's a government job, which still meant nothing to me. And so I said, no, that's okay. And they said, well, how much does that mean? And they quoted me how much that meant, which was like, I don't think so, because I already had other offers with the commercial. And then Captain Hempson called me back. And my father is retired Navy, as well as my grandfather. And he called and he said, listen to me. I offer you learning opportunities. I offer you experiences. I offer you things that you can do that you would never be able to have the opportunity to do in the commercial world. And I, as a military officer, give you this promise. And so I went ahead and accepted the job, and true to his word, I have been able to do more adventures, more opportunities, discover and explore things that I never would have in the commercial world. He was going after new people. He said fresh blood. He wanted something different. He wanted college graduates. They hadn't tried to bring anyone in from the outside for some years. They had an internship program. They discontinued it. So they were going after it again to get some fresh blood in. And so what they did was under the Outstanding Scholar Program. So they brought us in. There were 3 of us. I started Halloween 1994. I remember coming into the building with my suit on, and I see into the building, people are going around in their costumes, which I was shocked. I didn't know what to expect, and here's, bunny rabbits and all these different things coming through the hallway. And so I started October 31st, and 2 others started in the middle of November, and we came in and were recruited, and it was unusual because here in Battle Creek, Michigan, they are used to local people, or if people did transfer into the organization, it came from other federal agencies, or they came in from military, DOD, or something to that effect. So we were given the title Whiz Kids because we came in under the Outstanding Scholars Program. And it was hard. It was hard. People basically wouldn't talk to us. They saw us as taking their jobs or their opportunities, and we were rather ostracized, and we had to make our way. We had to show ourselves, but it's been good. It's been good. I'm currently a GS-13, one of the old timers now, and did various marketing things first, and introduced database marketing to DRMS at the time, Defense Realization Marketing Service. I introduced database marketing because I knew it from college. We were going after customers because we sold commercially at that time. So we were targeting all various customer groups. We did target marketing. We did advertising. We did cold calling. We did all those type of advertisements. So that's when I first came in, and we did all of that. And then moved into, when I was doing marketing, advertising, met with the guys. It was Scott Riddle and Rod Muskin at the time, but they, we did the internet. When the internet first came on, these guys were very, very fast and super intelligent and versatile, but they didn't know how to do the look. They didn't know how to do the feel of internet and advertising and appealing to the folks. And so it was so fun that we would do the internet because we had the biggest searchable database that people could come in and search through all of our items and see what they wanted or get information. So what I made was, because I didn't know the internet or how to make the magic work, because that's what we called it, I made a book. I would do page. I would draw the page, where the links would be and what they would look like. And then I would just make page after page, and that's how I did it. And then I would give it to them. They would work on it for a day or two. Then we would look at it, try it out, and then we'd put it live. And each day we would upgrade the pages or we would make changes, and it was so much fun. And it was really exciting to deal with, to be able to have that real-time touch and adventure. And that was the start of when it was really a big adventure to do something different. This opportunity was advertised. Deploy. You want to volunteer to deploy. You want to go overseas. You want to go to Iraq, Afghanistan. Want to do these crazy things, and we really need the support. This and that. And I thought, okay, that wild hair was there. Okay, I wasn't an emergency essential person. I wasn't, but I thought I would go with that wild hair. And so I went to my bosses and I volunteered, and I said, okay, I would like to give this a try. And they came back because I was already a GS-13 and the marketing I'd done, and I was already a sales contracting officer and quite a few other things. I was very experienced with those type of things. And they approved me to go, but what they approved me to do was to go to Afghanistan, and they said, we're going to open up a site there, but what we want you to do is to work with the Department of State in Afghanistan in order for us to get sales authority there and start working so we can get contracts and such. And I thought, okay, I can do this. This is great. Until, that day that I'm walking up the backside of a plane with the bag on my back thinking you've done some stupid things in your life, but this is about takes it. But anyway, so we get there and realize there's no site. We went to Bagram, Afghanistan. There's not a site. There's not anything. We're living in wooden bee huts, 20 by 40 wooden bee huts and those kind of things. And the lead individual that knew about sites and such, his back went out. Within a month, his back went out. So that left myself and another individual. He was a GS-7 that was very, very experienced as far as sites are concerned. Forklift driver, really knew that kind of thing, but not the other. So we just started pulling out the manual. We went page by page, and we figured it out. And when we opened the gates to say, hey, here's DRMO Bagram, and we're open, we had a wooden bee hut as an office with no heat, no light. We had a gate and nothing else. And so when the trucks would pull in for us to, do property, we would actually literally get up on the truck and we would shove it off because we didn't have anything. Or we would borrow forklifts and such from other folks. And it was crazy. And we would take shifts because it was really cold when we opened in Bagram with snow. So he would take the first shift, and I would be a couple of hours in the building doing inputs back with regular DLA, and then we would switch because we would get so cold. But anyway, kind of 5 miles uphill both ways in the snow, right? The old school. But that started in 2000. No, that's when we opened, 2005. Yeah, 2005, December. So we opened Bagram. Boom. There's the first DRMO. It was a little 3-acre yard. And no electricity, no anything, but we made it happen, and it was an adventure. So deployed for there, and then so the 2005 into 6, then went back in 2007, Bagram again. Then I started going TDY to support and represent some special projects, all over Afghanistan, and then I became tired of deploying and all that, and I thought, I've got to change it, but I was already, the connotation was there of you deploy, you Afghanistan. So took a job in Germany with Disposition Services, still DRMS at the time. And I thought, okay, here we go. I'm going to be the supervisor over customer service over there. And so I went over to Germany. I was able to get there in 2008 as soon as I returned from Afghanistan again, and it was really great. It was exciting in Kaiserslautern and Germany and going everywhere until they came to me and said, you've had all your shots, you know how to deploy, you know how to live. We need to open up Djibouti in Africa, Camp Lemonnier. Okay, so go with the group. We fly down there, and it was, again, nothing. And property everywhere that needs to be cleaned up because there's never been a DRMO there. And yeah, started that. And, extremely hot again. And then I thought, okay, well, did that a couple of times. And then they'd come to me and tell me, because I was in an EC position at that time, it was 2010, we're going to deploy you to Iraq. Okay, so went to Balad, Iraq, 6 months as the site lead there. They call it Mortaritaville for a reason. And we even had a mortar into our yard, which of course we crawled up in the building. We watched explode, which we weren't supposed to do, but it was really cool. And I came back to Germany, immediately came back to Battle Creek, and came back and kind of was actually bored because I'm used to this. And so deployed again in 2011 to 12, area manager for Afghanistan. And at this time then, all over Afghanistan and opening up these little sites, we call them HBDOs, hub-based disposal operations, at all these different FOBs around, and just started opening them up or researching about where we would open. And so that was the last deployment. Came home in 2012, and that was the last deployment, and then became deputy director for Central, which is over CENTCOM. Crazy stuff, Qatar and Bahrain, and going to Oman and UAE, and as well as Kuwait, and all the crazy that comes in with that. And boom, yeah, deployed. I tried to joke with the people that I should have started a scrapbook of all the bunkers that I've been into. It would have made an interesting little historical piece, but I never did. And, yeah. There were quite a few times where, you see the outgoing, and then we had a couple of incoming, and there was one time we were driving a truck down the outskirts of Balad to go get some scrap trucks outside of the gates, and we saw, I didn't know what it was at the time, a little poof, 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 poof in a line in front of us, and come to find out, they did the alarms to get away. They were having incoming fire, and yeah. So I always told my friends, as soon as I'm done deploying, I'm going to become a high maintenance woman. I'm going to get my hair done all the time. I'm going to get my nails done. I'm going to have facials and do all these crazy things because I lived this way for a while, and when I really should be this other person, but it never unfolds. But you know what? The adventures, and your life is all about experiences.